What's going on, y'all? What's going on? What's going on? Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Um, and the hype button. Mrs. Z almost forgot. Almost forgot. See, I'm so used to saying it the other way. It's gonna take me a little while to remember the hype button and have it flow into the intro statement. Fair use, fair use. Fair use, fair use. And you better believe this is a reckless stream. So y'all know reckless streams rules are in effect. Do not put in the comments. Don't put in the comments. Y'all know what that means. And so shout out to the Raj Report. I didn't get to check out the whole stream, but I listened to a lot of it. Shout out to the nameless protagonist. Shout out to everyone else that was on the panel. As a matter of fact, we will be playing some of the brothers that were on the panel in a minute. So yesterday, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was a yesterday stream. So that was a Tuesday stream. Sorry, Tuesday stream. The Raj Report had a stream, a conversation about ugly black women, where he wasn't necessarily calling black women physically ugly. Their comportment, their attitude, particularly concerning black men, pretty damn ugly. And I think black men, particularly in the black manosphere, appreciate what informs that. But I'm going to play a couple of clips for y'all that show it's not just black men in the black manosphere. There are other people who are actually anti-black manosphere who appreciate what this is too. There are black women that appreciate what this is also, who are also not affiliated with the black manosphere whatsoever, not attached, not anything. For decades, a good at least 6 decades, if we're being generous, 6 decades, black women have been able to dominate the narrative concerning black men, black women, particularly over the past 4 decades. They have dominated the narrative. And so the talks of failed black men, the talks of black men wanting to be white men, the talks of successful black men dating, marrying, having sex with non-black women as a way of assuaging their lack of manhood because they're not white men in this society. Black women have engaged in all of it. Black men not being educated enough, black men not being classy enough, black men not having the tact, not having the discipline, not showing the benevolent patriarchal masculinity, i.e. white men. Black women have dominated that narrative of the grown man-child black man, the mama's boy black man, the inept, incapable black man, the monstrous, aggressive, hyper masculine black man who engages in that to make up for, well, not being a man, not being white, i.e., once again, not being a white man. Black women have dominated in the conversation, and white racist society, in this case, particularly on the left, has definitely encouraged them in that conversation, in that pursuit, in that narrative. So you would have both white man and white women feminists who encourage black women to speak this way. And now that we have social media and the internet, it has made it pretty damn difficult for black women to continue to speak that way, although they are still speaking that way. It has made it pretty difficult for black women to speak that way, particularly not in context. What does Z mean by that? We have video after video after video after video of black women recording themselves or in conversation with or not with black men concerning their relationships with black men. And black women after black women are letting you know how they see relationship with black men and how they see relationship with non-black men. And a lot of it essentially comes down to this.
If you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
That is essentially what the conversation boils down to. If you pick through it, if you listen hard enough, or if you let them talk long enough, that is essentially where conversation about black men and non-black men dissolves into. Black men are not men, so they deserve no respect. They deserve no deference, right? This was not the conversation 2 decades ago. Quite frankly, a decade and a half ago, 2 decades ago, 3 decades ago, 4 decades ago, black women have dominated this conversation. But social media and the internet now allows for them, in their megalomaniac temper tantrum throwing ways, to speak like that, right? To let the world know what it really is. And to be frank, many of their daughters didn't get the memo that you're supposed to be way more coy than that, way more sly than that, way more covert than that. And the ones that did get the memo are so angry and rageful and resentful that they are not white women that they still speak this way, right? And we're going to get into it. So once again, shout out to the Roger Report. Shout out to all the contributors of his stream the other day, both in the chat and on the panel. And so we're going to play a few clips to further prove the point, and Mr. Z will give his commentary throughout. But we'll start it off with the videos that the Roger Report reviewed, or that he had in his description box, that spoke to what Mr. Z is speaking on now. And here we go.
Black women, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, okay? Black men don't like us. They don't like you. They don't like me. It's just what it is. And you have to accept the reality of that. And what you decide to do with that information is on you. Do you think that a man that liked you would see you working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, coming home working, taking care of kids, going to school, getting a degree, paying bills? They don't like us. They see us as workhorses, mules, the backbone. I don't want to be a man's backbone. I want to be his helpmate. I can't help you pay no bills. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing it. You think that he cares about you? He tolerates you. And the reason that he tolerates you is because what you can do for him, which is help him pay those bills. You're working 2 or 3 jobs and he's working 1. He don't like you. I know that they don't like me, which is why I open my options. But they don't like us. You need to get that through your head. Black women are seen generally in society as a pillar of strength, as being resilient, as being independent. Women of other races and cultures are not seen that way. They're seen as soft, fragile, and delicate. Do you think that a man that sees you as a pillar of strength is going to cherish you? Think about that. They don't like us. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but they don't like us. And I know that there's going to be a social justice warrior or a big back Barbara the Builder that's going to come on here trying to debate with me. I'm not here to debate or argue with you. You can argue with your beauty supply wig and your lamb chop eyelashes. Black men don't like us. They don't like you. They don't like me. They don't like us.
I was over here just eating chicken and juggling watermelons, and then you saw me. Oh my God, thank you. I knew you were king once I saw you with your hard edge up and you were blasting Biggie. Thank you, white man. I am beautiful no matter what they say. My white man sees me down. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. White Man.
Gon' let her play your card.
I beat it up.
Yeah. Gon' let her play your card.
I beat it up.
Yeah.
I was over here just eating chicken and juggling watermelons, and then you saw me. Oh my God, thank you. I knew you were king once I saw you with your hard edge up and you were blasting Piggy. Thank you, white man. I am beautiful no matter what they say. My white man sees me down. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. White Man.
So, especially with the first clip. The second clip, for those of you that didn't see, I forgot that the song was attached to it. So that's why I clicked off, hopefully early enough not to get a strike, but I'm probably going to get a strike. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat and the hype button. So there's that. The young lady's second clip was saying she doesn't care how racist the country is. She wants to have triple X fun with white men. She doesn't care. If you go through the comments, it's some black women who are disgusted, to be fair, and others, I would argue a good 40 to 50%, who are like, I'm with you, lefty white men, right? So, to be fair, a good chunk, I would argue 40 to 50%, at least in those comments, are in agreement with her. It doesn't matter how racist this country becomes. It doesn't matter how overt. It doesn't matter, I guess, if the white men around that young lady's age are walking down the street with tiki torches saying, excuse my language, Jews will now replace us, and calling black men and black women all type of N-words with the hard ER. The young lady said, and she is backed up and supported by a fully what Z saw, 40 to 50% of her comment section. It doesn't matter if the white dudes are marching down the street with KKK hoodies on, goose stepping down the street with the Hell Hitler salute. She doesn't care. She wants to have triple X fun with the white dudes. Alrighty then. Right? So that's the first clip. The second clip, very clear. Back, my apologies, y'all. My apologies. Continuing. Reckless. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat and the hype button. Continuing. The first clip, the young lady is speaking, and I'm going to call her young lady. The young lady is speaking about the performance of womanhood, right? And what she's saying is, you loser black women allow black men to have this one job or no job while you busting your butt with two jobs, and this is not feminine, this is not, and you social justice warriors. And she then proceeds to kind of excoriate black women, insult black women. Once again, they start off anti-black men. I want to be very clear to all the black women that co-sign this. If you let these black women talk long enough, it's going to become anti-black. It doesn't stop at anti-black men. Whether it's Chrissy, whether it's this young lady that I played, whether it's Paris Malone, eventually the Cynthia G's, they start off anti-black men. They get y'all hooked on that. And then even when y'all disagree with them in the slightest, it turns anti-black. It was always anti-black. And the Roger Report is going to speak to that in a minute. I'm going to play something where he speaks to that in a minute. Right? Black women are allowed to sound anti-black because they're black. And quite frankly, the black community doesn't hold their feet to the fire while they sound anti-black, especially when it's anti-black men. The black community allows for black women to spew their anti-blackness, particularly directed to black men, because the black community, many in the black community will say, it's really the single baby mama community, as the Roger Report would say. But we'll frame it this way just so that people it could be easily digestible to folks. The black community allows for black women to sound anti-black because, as Ryan Clark said, men have been so horrible to women, right? Concerning the Sha'Carri Richardson striking her, physically assaulting her, I guess at this point, ex-boyfriend at the airport, it was given a pass because some man 2,000 years ago struck his woman. So, right? Some man went to go get milk 30 years ago and didn't come back home. And so Sha'Carri Richardson has every right to strike her black boyfriend at the time, in front of everyone in the middle of an airport. Because we have many in the black community, because we have this idea of this debt that is owed to black women from black men, as y'all heard Z say multiple times, in these women's mind, the number one person that slavery should be placed on is black men. It is your fault. The onus is on you. And now it is your fault because you have black women in the same universe, in the same galaxy, in the same solar system, on the same planet, in the same country with white women. And it is your fault. Right? But it's not just the black manosphere saying this. Oh, people that would never associate with the black manosphere are also letting you know, I see it too. Oh no, what you said, Foreign?
I think it's a regressive conversation. And I think it also speaks, more so like there's like a subcontext where black women are venting a frustration with black men for not going to college. I think that's like the end of the sentence, the part of the sentence that has been cut off. It's just like not only black men are not going to college, but I am frustrated with the fact, especially like I've seen like a lot of black women like chiefing the conversation. I am frustrated with the fact that black men are not going to college. And I think that speaks to a couple of different reasons because you then begin to get into the conversation of the ability to provide some levels of patriarchal provide and protect, which is an age-old conversation. It's also a very misguided one because even if you go back to an understanding of like African societies and like how black men and black women cohabitated at that point, it was never that. The idea of provide and protect never looked that way. For
it was never that top down kind of
it wasn't
story that we get.
It wasn't, and even from the transatlantic slave trade, like we understood that. But still, the mythos has carried on, especially like when you deal with the fact that and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but like the black woman, just like how the black man wants to be white, shouts to Fanon, the black woman not only wants to be white, but more importantly wants to be woman. Like you have to understand, like a lot of the time, like the black woman is denied femininity. Like they are denied humanhood, but more importantly, denied femininity. They're always characterized as masculine. I've kind of
hinted at a couple of times before that I think happens with a lot of these culture war combos.
Precisely, and like the reason why, to externalize it, and also understanding that white supremacy is just such a very difficult institution to tackle. The black woman is put in a situation where she can only vent her frustration potentially to the black man. The black woman can't necessarily attack the white supremacist institution. So like the immediate person to fight is horizontal. It's not vertical. Like the fight isn't vertical because that's too hard. Like it's horizontal. And who's next to you? The black man. You then frustrate or you vent your frustrations onto the black man with, I would be woman if you would take me out of these, if you were a man. That's a beautiful way to put it. I would be woman if you were a man. Because then if you were a man, you would take me out of me working this, groveling job. You would put me in furs. You would put me in a position of femininity. Like you would make me the way that the white woman is. You would make me honorary. You would make me dainty. You would make me soft. But I can't be because I have to be in these proximities to danger. And I'm tired of it. That's what I think like a subtext of this is.
I heard that in real life before, actually.
Damn.
Like in so many words, like a woman I was dating, she told me something very much so like in that vein, like she didn't feel feminine in a sense. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you are a woman, like you are a beautiful black woman. Like I see femininity all in and throughout you. But I guess like what she means is like you were saying, like if you were a man, you would make me a woman so I could just really be in my feminine bag and not have to work and worry about so many things that I'm being tasked with taking care of. Like so.
And I think it's
Yep. And Afro Merchant says, never wanted to be white. And so further on in the conversation, Josh and Eddie and Foreign, they try to do this, and you know, black men are doing this too, and they don't get to be, and they're charging women with elevating them into white masculinity or white manhood, and that's not, Foreign, Josh, and Eddie, y'all are not slow and dumb. I saw how y'all tried to do the 1 foot in and 1 foot out. If we're going off of gender performance dictated by race, that's not how it's performed. Black men and men don't charge women with making them men. I see how you tried to put 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And so for you to critique the women's behavior, black women's behavior, and their hypocrisy, I want to stress that. Foreign, with this technology of performance of manhood and womanhood, we're not going back. Black women do not want it. They don't want to do it. Quite frankly, women writ large don't want to do it. I don't know what part of that is so difficult for everyone to understand in this society. Working class women, regardless of race, resent that they have to be in the same space with elite women. When I say same space, I mean same planet. Particularly elite white women. And they don't get to perform that way. And I watch men attempt to give women all type of passes with this. And the pass is throwing men under the bus, particularly in the black community. Foreign man, Josh, Eddie, what part of the women don't want to do it don't y'all appreciate? You'll have the Amanda Seals, you'll have the Ebony K. Williams. These people are creatives. They have their dream job. They're making really good money. The Kim Fosters, who making money off of college lectures and her YouTube channel. Those women, they'll gladly work because they're doing something they love and they're passionate about, and they're making pretty damn good money at it. And they're getting a bit of notoriety and maybe a smidge of fame from it. Your average woman is not going to be that. And they resent this society for having them work 9 to 5s. They want to perform white womanhood, i.e. upper middle class and above white womanhood. The men don't become men through women. The men aren't charging women with making them men. That's not how it works. And y'all know that's not how it works, but you said it anyway. The women charge, and we could tell because of the way you described it. Foreign, you know exactly what it is. And shout out to Eddie. I can't be woman because you are not man. I am not woman because you are not man. It is not said the other way around, nor can it be said the other way around. That lessens the man. No man is like, I am not man because you are not woman. That's not how it works, particularly in the black community. That lessens the manhood. Manhood is not about women making you into men. Women might validate your masculinity and your manhood by throwing some vagina on the table, right? If you have the gift of gab, or if you have the looks or the charisma or the resources. With that, women don't make men men. That's not how this gender performance goes. Particularly if you're speaking about white womanhood, no, men make women women. And that is what black women resent. Foreign, you described it perfectly. But later on in the conversation, I didn't record that part. Eddie and Foreign trying to do 1 foot in and 1 foot out by throwing the black men under the bus, by saying, and black men do this too. No. So I wanted to play that clip so that we can emphasize, even folks that are super antithetical to what the Black Manosphere is, even they know. Everybody knows what this is. And because of social media and because of the comment section in the videos and the podcasts, the women recording themselves calling everything sassy, Black women, calling everything LGBTQ, Black women, calling everything gay, Black women, that doesn't fit in a super narrow box of male performance. In other words, performing for Black women and generally just kissing their ass, being what they need you to be at the very moment they need you to be it or want you to be it. And because in Black women's arrogance and just total disregard for Black men, they're being excruciatingly loud on the internet and on social media. Unless you have a bulletproof algorithm, particularly if you're a Black person in America, we all see it. You can't deny it. From Pop the Balloon, which Olay Sid makes her cringe, Delaney Sid make her cringe, even Kim Foster, because that's all you're just now getting to see. They've been knowing. Y'all just now getting to see what Black men be running into. These women from Pop the Balloon are Black women. These are your everyday Black women. Even Delaney, Olay, and Kim Foster, like, oh, it's making y'all look bad. Ooh, it's making y'all cringe to see how Black women talk to Black men, what Black men they turn down, and how, very importantly, very, very importantly, how they turn down those Black men. Oh, it's making you cringe because they're so public about it. And because they're so public about it, it makes it real difficult to deny when Black men mention this, because that's what Black women used to get. I don't know what Black women you talking about. Or almost be those bum-ass women. Then you go and Pop the Balloon, educated, not educated, light-skinned, dark-skinned, tall, short, West Coast, East Coast, down South, Midwest, Pacific Northwest. ADOS, not ADOS. Black women talking to Black men, all different type of crazy. Turning down Black men, all different type of crazy. Oh, it's made it real difficult to pretend like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know those type of women. Those women don't exist. I think you're exaggerating. It's who you're choosing. Oh, it's made it real difficult to minimize that, huh? Everyone knows, because Black women can't help themselves but to show out and show their ass and show their contempt for Black men, particularly average Black men. And as for Sid, and I'm gonna play it again. For those women, why should I forget deferring to? Why should I show you any modicum of respect, any shred of respect? You're not a white man. You're not rich. Why should I show you any respect? You're not man, so you're not gonna make me woman. Translation, you're not white. Okay, you're not white. Are you rich? Okay, are you particularly tall or particularly good looking? Oh, you're none of those? Oh, well, that means you're not going to make me some type of facsimile to a white woman. Some type of connection to white womanhood, to upper middle class and above white womanhood. If you're not going to put me in that position, if I don't get to perform like a white woman by being associated or attached to you, then why would I? What? Why would I ever? Ew. I don't gain any type of insane status by being associated or attached to you. I don't get to have other women's envious, jealous eyes looking upon me by being associated or attached to you. I don't get the resources at an insane level. What? I hear you, ladies. Going to Mr. Z's title. Who is she ugly with? I'm going to change the title after the stream. Who is she being ugly with? Question mark. She's being ugly with black men. She's being ugly to black men. Not so much in physique, although there's something to be said about the weight. In comportment and attitude and demeanor directed to black men. It's a play on what the Roger Report title was yesterday. Ugly black women. Well, who is she being ugly with? So we're going to play for it again, and we'll continue.
I think it's a regressive conversation. And I think it also speaks, I think, more so like there's like a subcontext where black women are venting a frustration with black men for not going to college. I think that that's like the end of the sentence, the part of the sentence that has been cut off. It's just like not only black men are not going to college, but I am frustrated with the fact, you know, especially like I've seen like a lot of black women like chiefing the conversation. I am frustrated with the fact that black men are not going to college. And I think that speaks to a couple of different reasons because you then begin to get into the conversation of the ability to provide some levels of patriarchal provide and protect, which is an age-old conversation. It's also a very misguided one because I mean, even if you go back to an understanding of like African societies and like how black men and black women cohabitated at that point, it was never that. The idea of provide and protect never looked that way. For
it was never that top-down kind of
it wasn't
story that we get.
It wasn't, and even from the transatlantic slave trade, like we understood that. But still, the mythos is carried on, especially like when you deal with the fact that and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but like the black woman, just like how the black man wants to be white, shouts to Fanon, the black woman not only wants to be white, but more importantly wants to be woman. Like you have to understand, like a lot of the time, like the black woman is denied femininity. Like they are denied humanhood, but more importantly, denied femininity. They're always characterized as masculine.
I've kind of hinted at a couple of times before that I think, happens with a lot of these culture war combos.
Precisely. And like the reason why, like, I mean, like to externalize it and also understanding that white supremacy is just such a very difficult institution to tackle. The black woman is put in a situation where she can only vent her frustration potentially to the black man. The black woman can't necessarily attack the white supremacist institution. So like the immediate person to fight is horizontal. It's not vertical. You know, like the fight isn't vertical because that's too hard. Like it's horizontal. And who's next to you? The black man. You then frustrate or you vent your frustrations onto the black man with, I would be woman if you would take me out of these, if you were a man. That's a beautiful way to put it. I would be woman if you were a man. Because then if you were a man, you would take me out of me working this, you know, groveling job. You would put me in furs. You would put me in a position of femininity. Like you would make me the way that the white woman is. You would make me honorary. You would make me dainty. You would make me soft. But I can't be because I have to be in these proximities to danger. And I'm tired of it. That's what I think like a subtext of this is.
I heard that in real life before, actually.
Damn.
Like in so many words, like a woman I was dating, she told me something very much so like in that vein, like she didn't feel feminine in a sense. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you are a woman, like you are a beautiful black woman. Like I see femininity all in and throughout you. But well, I guess like what she means is like you were saying, like if you were a man, you would make me a woman, so I could just really be in my feminine bag and not have to work and worry about so many things that I'm being tasked with taking care of. Like so.
And I think this
once again, scour America and find me the black men that say to black women, I am not man because you are not woman. Scour America and show me the black men that either say it, imply it, or suggest it. I am not man because you are not woman. You haven't put me in my masculine. And a black man that says it, not being funny, not being ironic, and not mocking women by throwing it right back to them. How they speak to black men. Find me those black men. Nice try, Foreign. Nice try, Josh and Eddie. Huh? Who is she being ugly with? Huh? And so we're going to play a couple of clips of the brothers on the panel with the Roger Report yesterday. Shout out to the brothers on the panel with the Roger Report yesterday. And here we go, everyone.
We got Kevin 3905 who came up, so you got the mic, my brother.
Fellas, the audacity of you Negroes up here to be talking about y'all black queens like this stuff. Man, this my brother's absolutely right. They know better. They just don't give a damn. You ain't white. They don't care how care how intelligent Nameless is. They don't care how many degrees he got. He ain't white. They don't care how much money you making. You ain't white. They don't care if you play pro football, pro basketball, pro baseball. You ain't white. If you can't give her the title of Miss Cartwright, you can't give her what she wants. They want to be Miss Cartwright. We can't do that for them. They in their game is rejection, rejection, rejection until a white man accepts them. And the thing is, they don't understand. The one thing that they don't understand is their behavior is what's keeping them from being Miss Cartwright. They're beautiful women for the most part, if you're honest about it. The ones that are in shape, they're beautiful women, and physically they could attract most men, but they're just ugly people on the inside. Hence the title of the show. They're just ugly people. They're just not good people, man. And they know better. They just don't want to do better, man. And they want us to make them white women. And I ain't trying to make a black woman a white woman. I ain't interested in that. But I lay my plane right there.
Yeah.
See what Kevin said there. For those of you who are new here, I know for many of you that just got in a minute or two ago, what Kevin said there, it sounds insane. No, that's not how what black women really have an issue with. That's not it. Oh, really now? Do you want to hear it from a black woman herself?
Man, if you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
It makes it real difficult to battle or to minimize what black men in the black manosphere are saying when we're playing black women in their own words. Not being funny, not being ironic, not mocking black men. No, black women in their own words in sincerity. How the lady said, standing in their truth. Huh? That young lady said what she said the way she meant it. Huh? She said what she said the way she meant it. Huh? Yikes. But guess what? The Raj Report had another brother come on. I think it was Cham Carr. Shout out to Cham Carr. Who said something that we're going to have to play another video to. And shout out to the Raj Report. Once again, shout out to the panel that was up yesterday. And shout out to the chat. Continuing.
All right, Chad Carr for life. You got it, brother.
Hey, what's going on? Happy Tuesday. Shout out to the panel. Nameless protagonist. Really good hearing from you. It was really good opening statement that you did about 30 minutes ago. But anywho, this by the way too. But anyway, you see the picture I'm using today? That's Serena Williams. Perhaps the greatest female tennis player of all time, perhaps the greatest female athlete of all time. And, you know, I enjoyed watching her play tennis. And I thought she was all right to me. I thought she was a pretty attractive woman when she was a dark-skinned woman and everything else. But if you've seen her in the last 10 years since she's been married to this white man, wow, look at her. You notice she's really lightened her skin and everything else. And now, you know, she's promoting this new weight loss that her husband has to be on the board, and it's being told that according to the Food and Drug Administration, there's some dangerous side effects and everything else. What's going on right now is that I think she's selling a very dangerous, doing something very dangerous to the psyche of a lot of these black women who feel insecure of themselves and everything else. You know, she's been trying to be Mrs. Cartwright for a long, long time and everything else. And I guess internally, I could tell that she's got a lot of self-esteem issues as well, with her lighting her skin up, now trying to look very skinny in front of her white man and everything else, and at times complaining, trying to be some type of pro-black type of woman or human rights type of civil rights activist, complaining about cotton in her room and everything else. And you know, to me, it's all about the centuries of black women trying to seek white validation from white men and trying to be Mrs. Cartwright. And everything. It's been going on ever since colonization and everything. So even when some of the sisters were were made in Europe and everything else, they've been trying to lighten them skin up and everything else so they can look good in front of the white man and have all these type of gutter sex and everything else and have these type of mixed race, biracial children and everything else. And the ones who are always bringing up the colorism issue, I think, is more of the dark skin type of women, the Serena Williams type and everything else. They're bringing that up. And, all I can just say is just, a lot of black women, like her, are selling a very dangerous dangerous game right now by doing this type of stuff. And I also think we need to start trying to block them out of our conversations because, they're just trying to ramble, trying to project their own, insecurity and everything else. So I'll land my plane right there. Oh, bad entry is everything else. Oh, that's a comment by Trell Bentley. Dad, go on.
All right, y'all stay out the chat.
I was over here just eating chicken and juggling watermelons, and then you saw me. Oh my God, thank you. I knew you were king once I saw you with your hard edge up and you were blasting Piggy. Thank you, white man. I am beautiful no matter what they say. My white man sees me now. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. White Man.
So shout out to Champ Car. Exactly. Serena is a perfect example. How many black men found Serena Williams attractive? With the size, with the weight, with the muscles, with the dark skin tone, how many black men would have been proud to have Serena on their arm? It was never about what black men thought. Don't let black women hide behind one or two Negroes that said something disparaging about Serena Williams. That's not why they celebrate Serena Williams being with Alexis Ohanian. It was about Serena being validated, by a white man. Number one. Number two, Serena is a prime example once again, because you can see her with the weave. You see her lining her skin. You see the list she's going to lose weight in ways that are not attractive to your everyday black man. That's because she's not attempting to appeal to your everyday black man. Even in her marriage to the rich white man. Yes, he's not as wealthy as her, but he's wealthy in his own right. Even in her marriage to the rich white man, it's still not enough. She still has a complex. She still has an inferiority complex. Huh? Yikes. It's to the point. And yes, I think they snubbed her. Where was that? Was it France? Where Serena tried to go to a restaurant and they didn't let her in. And the reason was the excuse, but the reason was that they didn't recognize her. They can make that. Do I think they were maybe being a bit racist? Maybe. But if you don't know, and if you haven't been following Serena Williams for the past decade, who would have known that how Serena Williams looks now, the tennis player Serena Williams, is the same Serena Williams from 10 and 12 years ago and 15 years ago. It's not about how she's aged. She looks completely different. Way smaller, way lighter, with the Farrah Fawcett weave on. Huh? They can say that legitimately. Whoever it was that did not let Serena into that restaurant can say that legitimately. And they could have been being racist, but they can hide behind, oh, I just didn't recognize her. Huh? Why do we bring up Serena? Because Serena is a prime example of what we're speaking of here. Black women with a complex. Black women with a complex. And Serena and Venus are prime examples as anti-black and as racist as white men in particular were being to Serena and Venus, those white men cracked their psyche. Now they can only be validated by white men, particularly Venus. At least Serena dated around and dated certain non-white men. At least Serena at least dated some black dudes. The number that white society did to Venus and Serena needs to be studied. We have to appreciate putting your children, namely your girls, in these environments with these white folks, these white boys and men, what it does to their psyche. And you see this with women of color and girls of color in particular. Being in these environments, all across the West, particularly in America, and what it does to the psyche of these girls and women, and who in their mind, because their femininity needs to be validated. Let's make sure that Mr. Z says this for all the weirdo lefties. No, these women want to be women. I don't care what type of lefty crap they talking. If they're not munching on another woman, they don't mean it. If they're not radical lesbians, they don't mean it. All that I love myself and I don't need the approval of anyone and I don't care about the male gaze. Yes, you do. But it's only one man that truly makes you feel like a woman. Ooh. Huh? What Aretha Franklin said, natural born woman, right? It's only one man that makes you feel like a natural born woman, and it's the white man. Something that no one in mainstream media want to talk about it. Everyone want to stay a million miles away from it. And let Mr. Z say this now. As times get tougher, financially, the scramble to perform white womanhood is going to become more and more apparent. Those signals to a femininity that many women see as unachievable is going to become more and more apparent. Because in their minds, what else do they have? Especially when the technocrats, the social designers, the tastemakers, the cultural critics are not saying to women in particular, women of color, even more particularly, and definitely black women, that with equality means that you don't get the gendered pleasure of performing womanhood, women, the way white women, elite white women do. You can throw that away. That's the sacrifice. That's the equivalent exchange. You can't be special and equal at the same time. And yes, Mr. Z sees more and more folks, women, not saying equality, now saying equity. And we'll get to that in a minute. They're not saying equality anymore, now they're saying equity. They think they're slick. And in their attempts to now start forwarding equity, what they're really saying is, well, okay, so it's not fair. So what we're actually saying is that you need to take into account all the past transgressions. And that's their way of trying to have one foot in patriarchy, one foot in feminism. A la carte patriarchy, a la carte feminism, as Mr. Z has said a zillion times on his channel, patriarchy by feminist specifications. When you start hearing women, and right now it's still the elite women, it's the highly educated women that's saying equity, and they're distinguishing between equality and equity because they're being punched in the face with equality, and they don't like that. Oh no, they hate equality. Now, when they start spewing their hypocritical drivel, and someone like Z is sitting across from them on the table, or I'm a family friend and I'm at the get together, and then I start telling them, oh no, y'all said equality. That means y'all don't get to play none of that feminine stuff. Oh no, Now they're starting to speak about equity because they still want the gendered pleasure of performing womanhood. They don't want to do the blue collar work. They don't want to put the garbage out. They want the doors open for them. They want the men to help them with something heavy going up the stairs at their apartment. So now we start to speak equity. Once you start telling them, by the way, you don't get to perform white womanhood, all the dreams of that are dashed. Sorry, not. Then it's not fair.
That is not fair! That is not fair!
Huh? Then it's not fair. Now we're speaking about equity. Don't worry, y'all will start hearing it more and more. Y'all will start hearing it more and more. Be prepared. In the next 4 or 5 years, I don't even think it's going to take that long. You're going to start hearing your everyday woman saying equity now, not equality. Because once we start talking about equality and we start telling the women, hey, you don't get this, you don't get that, you can't perform this. Huh? No, equality was supposed to be for the men. Huh? Equality was to take away the gendered pleasures from men. It was never supposed to be about taking away the gendered pleasures from women, because so many of us in this society didn't want to say to the women, you do know y'all kind of benefit from patriarchy too. You do know it's not just men coming home dictating to women. You know there's a whole lot of things that you're probably not going to want to sign up for, that if we do this equality thing and we really mean it, they didn't want us to really mean it. You do realize there's a lot of ways that a lot of things that you're taking for granted that we will no longer make the assumption of. The dainty, soft women, the pulling the doors out, the paying for first dates, all of that. Oh no. Huh? The making the move, the he's the one to propose if y'all do get married. All that's out the window. All the passenger princess. Huh? All the onus is on him, whether you're the one who started something or he's the one who started something. All of that's out the window. You wanted equality, right? All of the assumption that if y'all get divorced, the child more than likely 85-90% of the time is going to go with you, your primary caregiver. All that's out the window. If you want equality, you won't have to mean it. Now the women are saying equity. Yeah, because equality costs a lot. It costs a lot. Oh yeah, and you're going to have to subsidize and pay for yourself completely by yourself when you're single. Oh, and you better come up with half this rent or half this mortgage. Oh, and you better pay your own car note. Oh, and I'm not helping you with that student loan debt. I got my own. I'm going to pay for mine. You pay for yours. Yeah, when women start to have to see what equality means, oh, now they want to talk equity. Yeah, that's what we thought. Huh? Yeah, that's what we thought. So, of course, you're going to have black women who are now stressing even more white womanhood. And that's why Mr. Z walked in the door, making sure that when y'all heard white women, because, you know, many of us, we work with white women, we work for white women, we're the bosses of white women or the managers of white women. We've had relations with white women, giggity, right? And so we know they're just women. Yeah, but have you been around elite, upper middle class, rich white women? That is what most women are speaking about when they talk about being a woman. That's the ideal, including and especially for black women. Huh? As Foreign and Eddie said, I am not woman because you are not man. I am not woman because you are not man. Huh? And so that's what the college education conversation was about a few months ago. Black women don't really care about whether you're educated or not. It's that I can't live out my fantasies of being a powerful, influential black woman that's highly educated with an equally or more powerful, influential black man who's college educated. And then we could look down on others, and we could do our power couple thing, and I could do my strong independent thing while you're subsidizing me. What? I could talk about being strong and independent and not caring about the male gaze while I'm married and living off of my husband. White feminists, everyone. And so, yes, Foreign was right about that. Eddie was right about that. Now they tried to smooth it over by throwing black men under the bus later on in the conversation. But Foreign knows what it is. Foreign was speaking around it. He was kind of working through the words and the concept. And Eddie went right to it. I am not woman because you are not man. Yeah. Continuing.
I think it's a regressive conversation. And I think it also speaks, more so like there's like a subcontext where black women are venting a frustration with black men for not going to college. I think that that's like the end of the sentence, the part of the sentence that has been cut off. It's just like not only black men are not going to college, but I am frustrated with the fact, especially like I've seen like a lot of black women like chiefing the conversation. I am frustrated with the fact that black men are not going to college. And I think that speaks to a couple of different reasons, because you then begin to get into the conversation of the ability to provide some levels of patriarchal provide and protect, which is an age-old conversation. It's also a very misguided one, because even if you go back to an understanding of like African societies and like how black men and black women cohabitated at that point, it was never that. The idea of provide and protect never looked that way. For
it was never that top-down kind of
it wasn't
story that we get.
It wasn't, and even from the transatlantic slave trade, like we understood that. But still, the mythos is carried on, especially like when you deal with the fact that, and a lot of people don't like to hear this, but like the black woman, just like how the black man wants to be white, shouts to Fanon, the black woman not only wants to be white, but more importantly wants to be woman. Like you have to understand, like a lot of the time, like the black woman is denied femininity. Like they are denied humanhood, but more importantly, denied femininity. They're always characterized as masculine. I've kind of
hinted at a couple of times before that I think happens with a lot of these culture war combos.
Precisely, and like the reason why, to externalize it and also understanding that white supremacy is just such a very difficult institution to tackle. The black woman is put in a situation where she can only vent her frustration potentially to the black man. The black woman can't necessarily attack the white supremacist institution. So like the immediate person to fight is horizontal. It's not vertical. Like the fight isn't vertical because that's too hard. Like it's horizontal. And who's next to you? The black man. You then frustrate, or you vent your frustrations onto the black man with, I would be woman if you would take me out of these, if you were a man. That's a beautiful way to put it. I would be woman if you were a man. Because then if you were a man, you would take me out of me working this, groveling job. You would put me in furs. You would put me in a position of femininity. Like you would make me the way that the white woman is. You would make me honorary. You would make me dainty. You would make me soft. But I can't be, because I have to be in these proximities to danger. And I'm tired of it. That's what I think like a subtext of this is.
I heard that in real life before, actually.
Damn.
Like in so many words, like a woman I was dating, she told me something very much so like in that vein, like she didn't feel feminine in a sense. I'm like, what do you mean? Like you are a woman, like you are a beautiful black woman. Like I see femininity all in and throughout you. But I guess like what she means is like you were saying, like if you were a man, you would make me a woman so I could just really be in my feminine bag and not have to work and worry about so many things that I'm being tasked with taking care of. Like so.
And I think it's,
let's be very clear. What Foreign and what Josh just said, let's not call them misogynist for any woman that's listening. Let's not say they're trafficking in misogyny, because we literally have a black woman saying exactly what they just said. Play it again, Z.
Black women, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this, okay? Black men don't like us. They don't like you. They don't like me. It's just what it is. And you have to accept the reality of that. And what you decide to do with that information is on you. Do you think that a man that liked you would see you working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, coming home working, taking care of kids, going to school, getting a degree, paying bills? They don't like us. They see us as workhorses, mules, the backbone. I don't want to be a man's backbone. I want to be his helpmate. I can't help you pay no bills. I'm not doing any of that. I'm not doing it. You think that he cares about you? He tolerates you. And the reason that he tolerates you is because what you can do for him, which is help him pay those bills. You're working 2 or 3 jobs and he's working 1. He don't like you. I know that they don't like me, which is why I open my options. But they don't like us. You need to get that through your head. Black women are seen generally in society as a pillar of strength, as being resilient, as being independent. Women of other races and cultures are not seen that way. They're seen as soft, fragile, and delicate. Do you think that a man that sees you as a pillar of strength is going to cherish you? Think about that. They don't like us. I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but they don't like us. And I know that there's going to be a social justice warrior or a big back Barbara the Builder that's going to come on here trying to debate with me. I'm not here to debate or argue with you. You can argue with your beauty supply wig and your lamb chop eyelashes. Black men don't like us. They don't like you. They don't like me. They don't like us.
So last time I checked, this young lady was dating an older white gentleman. Seen her page pretty much when this video first dropped. What was that, a month ago or so? Give or take a month. Yeah. So last time I checked, she was dating an older white gentleman. We have to emphasize that this is exactly what Foreign and Josh were speaking on. 40 hours a week. She started off with, if he got you working 40 hours a week, you mean the base 40 hours a week? That's standard issue. That's standard issue. It is about white womanhood. Don't wait for black women to say it overtly. Don't wait for other women of color to say it overtly. It is about white womanhood. The ideal position is that of the upper middle class, the rich, or the elite, wealthy white woman. The lady said it. So for any woman listening who heard Josh, Eddie, and Foreign, it was like, oh, they're trafficking and misogyny. And I don't know, me and my friends, because you know, women always like to do the me and my friends. I don't know any women like that. Well, Mr. Z just played one, and she's not the only one. And it's not only a few of them. Huh? So the young lady told you what it is. The goal is white womanhood. It is to perform like white women. Once again, when y'all hear Z say white women, read into that upper middle class, rich, or elite white women. The stay-at-home mothers, as the ladies like to bring up or remind us of. The women of leisure, right? The kept women. Huh? The women that don't have any needs or wants. She wants for nothing. Huh? So I just thought it was best to play those videos back to back so y'all can hear Foreign Man, Josh, and Eddie describe this, and then y'all can hear a black woman essentially corroborate what they're saying. That if you're working, if he has you working, if he has you going to college, if you're supposed to be his helpmate, then he doesn't like you. Black men don't like black women. This is the bar in their minds. This is the bar. Black men don't like black women because black men have black women working. Black women have to work and go to school and go to college, and they have to put their fair share in, and they have to engage in labor, and they have to work out of the home. And so there's no way a black man likes you, then black men don't like us. And really what she's saying, Z, get to it. As Mr. Z said before, y'all thought Mr. Z was being hyperbolic. I'm not. Many black women, many women of color, if they're average, a little bit above average, but they're working and they're working women, especially if their income is important to the household, it's not fair. You can't like them if you have them working, and you definitely can't. You hate them, not even just don't like them. You hate them if you have them in the same city, in the same county, in the same state, in the same country, on the same continent, same region of the world, same planet, same solar system, same galaxy, and in the same universe as rich and elite white women. Oh, you gotta hate your girlfriend, you gotta hate your wife, you gotta hate your baby mama, you gotta hate the woman that you have in a little situationship, the woman you're dating, excuse me. Oh, you have to hate her because you have her in the same universe as elite white women, and she doesn't get to perform like an elite white woman. Oh, you gotta hate her. Because only when someone that hates her would have her working. So shout out to the Roger Report. Shout out to the panel. Shout out to the chat. But yes, who is she being ugly with? The Roger Report stream, ugly black women. Yes, but who is she being ugly with and why? Right? Fair use, fair use, fair use, fair use. And last but not least, definitely got to play this. The Roger Report and the nameless protagonist get into it, into the conversation, not into an argument, but they get into what we're speaking about now. And here we go.
Because I done pulled you up. I can't keep talking if you're already up here. So go ahead, my brother. You have the flow.
To the chat and the instructor on the panel. Os. So you kind of touched on a couple things I wanted to bring up later. And I had the sense that you were going in that direction. I want to be clear. Roger, I get exactly what you were saying, but I don't think what we're saying is a this or it's a this and. And what's interesting is because it's a this and, it makes these things axiomatic anchors, which means the behavior that we see is something that manifests as a result of these things influencing the orbit and gravity of a lot of black women's behavior. And I want to tell you why I present it that way, like a constellation rather than a linear path, because there's a lot of moving parts to this. And you also anchored it, Roger, with your second video. When I look back at my experience with black women, and I'm gonna remind you, I've been all over the world. Both my parents were military family, military adherents. I was in the military. I've been all over the country, been to different countries. I've been to places where black folks are in and without the confines of American inertia, we'll just say. And a lot of these same things play out. I will remind you, and I really want to stand on this fact, that there is a point about the women that the men that she would want, that women like her struggle to get in her particular socioeconomic class that she's signaling. And I also want to get into the colorism piece, because when I hear statements like that from women, when I hear a lot of those complaints, they tend to look a lot like her. And what I find is a lot of those women end up really gunning for white dudes very aggressively. So much so, and a lot of men in the chat may be able to co-sign on this. Oftentimes, man, there's a difference in the way these women will treat you when you express interest in wanting to be in a real relationship. I'm not talking about smashing. I'm talking about the actual level of cooperation you get. You can do a side-by-side analytical comparison to women that are darker, women that are lighter. And when you go up the socioeconomic ladder, the level of expectation and disappointment shoots through the roof to the point of it being palpable. And there's this measure of almost resentment if you don't have, if you can't present a level of capitulation to the attitude a level of agreeing to role play that she's not acting the way she is. Suddenly you become this individual that hates her. And there'll be a
Did not the lady just say that? But she's not the only one. Shout out to the young lady that Shay Sade just interviewed the other day. Here we go, Z Rami.
All right, let me say this and then duck real quick. Y'all don't hate average. You just hate average when it comes wrapped in black skin. I said what I said. Don't scroll now. Stay with me. Let's watch this video and then we'll get into it. So let a black man be regular degular, got 9 to 5, flaws like everybody else, and y'all see he's invisible. Y'all be talking about, I'm not settling, he ain't got it together, or this, that, and the third. But let a white man be wearing wrinkled khakis, haven't washed his hair in fucking 6 months, saying grand rising, and I go with the flow, and y'all be talking about, oh, he's just different. I see the potential. What? That ain't standard sits, that's racial comfort and internalized bias. So y'all treat blackness like it has to be excellence to be lovable, but y'all treat whiteness like it's a blank canvas that you can build with. Oh, stay with me now. Black men gotta prove their piece, white men are just assumed peace, even in the chaos. So y'all rather build with the white man, not because he's better, but because society already sees him valuable as default. You're not dating up, sis, you're just relaxing your standards for him. Y'all keep saying that you can't find a black man who leads, who loves, who communicates, and this, that, and the third, right? But the truth is, you guys just couldn't be patient with a black man who didn't perform it in the aesthetics that you wanted. Y'all want a healing wrapped in a beard, Versace, and a 6'3" height, and when that didn't show up, you decided to dip. You didn't choose.
Did not Nameless pretty much just say that? Uh-oh. Once again to my title, who is she being ugly with? I'm going to fix it after the stream. Who is she being ugly with? As the young lady said, I'm going to play it again. I'm going to play the whole thing. Then we're going to play the whole thing with Nameless and the Raj Report. Because the black man didn't show up with the 6'3" height in the Versace shirt, and because he wasn't wrapped in that aesthetics, any old regular degular white dude will do. And you will show him the most respect, and you will defer to him. We could do regular degular white dude. We can't do regular degular black man because, see, the way my femininity works and the way it needs to be validated. You're not well resourced enough. So yeah, you're not a white man, but at least if you have enough money that allows for me to perform like some type of facsimile to white womanhood, then I'll give you a pass for not being white. But you're not particularly tall or insanely good looking, and you're not well resourced. So where's the win? I hear you, ladies. I hear you, black women. I hear you. As Indigo Flow says, I've said this before, the black man tax. Yes, you're being taxed for being a black man because you are not a white man. The black man tax. You better believe it. Huh? As the young lady said, because the black man didn't show up with the 6'3" height in the Versace shirt or wrapped in 6'3" height in Versace shirt. Yes. This is why Mr. Z says, if y'all want to turn relationship and intimacy into a luxury item, be prepared for what that means for you, dear black women. Mr. Z already know most of you don't got it. Huh? You gonna say it again, Z? You know Z gonna say it. Black and Latina women who never marry are the least wealthy in the US. A disproportionate number of black women are kidless as they age. Advocates say they deserve a social safety net too. No, you're gonna eat that poverty until death. You're gonna eat that struggle until death. It's white manhood or nothing. It's elevate you to white womanhood or nothing. No, we're gonna make sure we're gonna make you eat that. We hear you, ladies. You got that? Dear black women, you got it. Huh? You know it's bad when even foreign men gotta say it. Once again, of course he's gonna throw black men under the bus afterward. And you heard him before he said it. He said, a lot of people are gonna want to hear this. Yeah. See, you wouldn't say that if you were speaking about black men because we used to throwing black men under the bus. Oh, in the black community, we can't. Oh, we love doing that. The throwing black men under the bus, insulting black men, questioning black men's manhood and masculinity, or telling them that they shouldn't be, ooh, or finding different creative ways. You care about the opinions of other men too much. You need to reimagine your manhood and your masculinity that's beneficial for me and that allows for me to sass you, be mean to you, be snarky and rude, and you just eat that. And your little fragile male ego isn't offended by me and my insulting ways. If y'all think that's not what the women are really saying, you got another thing coming. Huh? Yeah. So we're gonna play that young lady again, but she said it. Who is she being ugly with? Who are black women being ugly with? If we're talking about ugly black women, and we're not particularly speaking about their looks, who are black women being ugly as in their comportment, their demeanor, their attitude? Who are they being ugly with? Who primarily are they being ugly with? That is the question. Huh? So continuing.
All right, let me say this and then duck real quick. Y'all don't hate average. You just hate average when it comes wrapped in black skin. I said what I said. Don't scroll now. Stay with me. Let's watch this video and then we'll get into it. So let a black man be regular degular, got 9 to 5, flaws like everybody else, and y'all see he's invisible. Y'all be talking about, I'm not settling, he ain't got it together, or this, that, and the third. But let a white man be wearing wrinkled khakis, haven't washed his hair in fucking 6 months, saying grand rising, and I go with the flow, and y'all be talking about, oh, he's just different. I see the potential. What? That ain't standard sits, that's racial comfort and internalized bias. So y'all treat blackness like it has to be excellence to be lovable, but y'all treat whiteness like it's a blank canvas that you can build with. Oh, stay with me now. Black men gotta prove their piece, white men are just assumed peace, even in the chaos. So y'all rather build with the white man not because he's better, but because society already sees him valuable as default. You're not dating up, sis, you're just relaxing your standards for him. Y'all keep saying that you can't find a black man who leads, who loves, who communicates, and this, that, and the third, right? But the truth is, you guys just couldn't be patient with a black man who didn't perform in the aesthetics that you wanted. Y'all wanted healing wrapped in a beard, Versace, and a 6'3" height, and when that didn't show up, you decided to dip. You didn't choose different, sis. You just picked the same energy and a color that you felt safer to submit to. You want the vibe, but not the weight that it comes with. You say black men don't show up, but y'all don't even let black men show up flawed. Meanwhile, you out here trying to coach Brad into being Malik Jr. and then calling it love. That's not healing, sis. That's hiding. And deep down, y'all know it.
Yep. If you listen to the ladies, they say it. Huh? It's about performing white womanhood, right? It's about performing white womanhood. And y'all give this Z a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And we're back. My apologies, everyone. My apologies. Y'all already know Reckless. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat and the hype button. There we go. And so let's actually read this from Low Volume L. And Low Volume L with the jokes, which is true, funny enough. Low Volume L says, black men have to pay for black women being in the same multiverse as white women. Say that. And there are a number of black women are not overtly saying it, right? But they are saying it. They're not overtly saying it, but they are saying it. It's not fair. In their mind, it's not fair that they don't get to perform white womanhood. And for many of them, they're not going to say white women. It's for them, it's women. But what is a woman? We see them as being women. Black men see black women as being women. No, but she's really not, though, because there's a certain way of performing womanhood. And when you factor in class and race, that's what she's talking about when she says woman. See, you're thinking about anatomical, you're thinking about XX chromosome adult. You're thinking about over the 18, get her cycle, XX chromosome adult. That is not what she's talking about. You're thinking about the hips and the breasts and the butt. That is not what she's talking about. She's talking about performance. She's talking about her status. Huh? So yes, Low Volume Male, the black tax, the black man tax. Huh? And the shorthand for black women is the white man. The shorthand to say, look, I am woman, is being with the white man publicly. The white man showing publicly that he's with you, that he chose you. Huh? That is the fastest way to have your femininity validated by this society. I gotta be a woman. A white man chose me. Huh? That's what bragging on being with a white man is about. That's what defecating on black men is about. Huh? It's shorthand for I am a woman. Huh? Don't expect for women to overtly say it. Black women to overtly say it. Don't expect this.
Over here just eating chicken and juggling watermelons, and then you saw me. Oh my God, thank you. I knew you were king once I saw you with your hard edge up and you were blasting Piggy. Thank you, white man. I am beautiful no matter what they say. My white man sees me now. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. White Man.
But we know they are performing for white men because they're showing you, even in skits, how where black men say something, she would never even consider it. She would be insulted, livid that you're even talking about what she's wearing, how she's dressed in the weave. Meanwhile, the white man doesn't have to say anything, and she gonna get that act right.
When the white boyfriend effect hits your black girlfriend.
Bruh. Huh? It's just a skit, but it says a lot. And if I'm not mistaken, the young lady's African descent. There's different cultural nuances. Yawn, same difference. Yeah. That's hysterical, Gilgami. And Gilgami says, shamefully shameless, shamelessly shameful. Huh? Appreciate, in that young lady's mind, even though it's a skit, it's the sentiment. You do this for white men because white men are men. He doesn't even have to tell you. You do this for white men because white men are men. A black man saying, do you have to wear the weave and the lashes? We're going to somewhere a bit special. Could you change your shoes or maybe put on something else? That white man is that black man, because he will be seen as a white man, but not really. That black man is all type of misogynist, and who does he think he is? With the white man, he doesn't even have to say anything. You see the way he's dressed, you go change. Huh? Let us not hear from no black women about, no, that's not us. Y'all are making that up. This is a black woman who did this skit with her white man. No black men in the picture. Let's cut the crap with the, no, that's what y'all want to tell yourself that. No, we don't need to tell ourselves that. We don't want to tell ourselves that, to be frank with you. No, the ladies are showing you that. Huh? Yikes. And so we'll play this again from the Nameless Protagonist and the Raj Report. And shout out to those brothers. Here we go.
Let me get a photo, Nameless. Because I done pulled you up. I can't keep talking if you're already up here. So go ahead, my brother. You have the flow.
To the chat and the instruct on the panel. Os. So you kind of touched on a couple things I wanted to bring up later. And I had the sense that you were going in that direction. I want to be clear. Roger, I get exactly what you were saying, but I don't think what we're saying is a this or it's a this and. And what's interesting is because it's a this and, it makes these things axiomatic anchors, which means the behavior that we see is something that manifests as a result of these things influencing the orbit and gravity of a lot of black women's behavior. And I want to tell you why I present it that way, like a constellation rather than a linear path, because there's a lot of moving parts to this. And you also anchored it, Roger, with your second video. When I look back at my experience with black women, and I'm gonna remind you, I've been all over the world. Both my parents were military family, military adherents. I was in the military. I've been all over the country, been to different countries. I've been to places where black folks are in and without the confines of American inertia, we'll just say. And a lot of these same things play out. I will remind you, and I really want to stand on this fact, that there is a point about the women that the men that she would want, that women like her struggle to get in her particular socioeconomic class that she's signaling. And I also want to get into the colorism piece, because when I hear statements like that from women, when I hear a lot of those complaints, they tend to look a lot like her. And what I find is a lot of those women end up really gunning for white dudes very aggressively. So much so, and a lot of men in the chat may be able to co-sign on this. Oftentimes, man, there's a difference in the way these women will treat you when you express interest in wanting to be in a real relationship. I'm not talking about smashing. I'm talking about the actual level of cooperation you get. You can do a side-by-side analytical comparison to women that are darker, women that are lighter. And when you go up the socioeconomic ladder, the level of expectation and disappointment shoots through the roof to the point of it being palpable. And there's this measure of almost resentment if you don't have, if you can't present a level of capitulation to the attitude, a level of agreeing to role play that she's not acting the way she is, suddenly you become this individual that hates her. And there'll be a light-skinned chick just like her, same scenario, all of that, and won't give you that same energy. That's why I bring it back to the self-esteem piece. And I want to show something to you right here. I don't know if you can see it if I pull it up. I'll put it in the back chat and I'll put it in the main chat.
No, just share your screen. Share your screen. I can pull it up.
Let me see if I can do it. I'll put it in the chat first. I'm going to put both of them up so people can do a side-by-side comparison. And I see this in a lot of my mom's alumni friends from her college. She graduated from Mount Vernon Women's College. That's probably one of the most prestigious female institutions in the country. And, you know, I see this a lot with her constituency. They're a lot older now, obviously. But They've been having the same arguments since back in the freaking 70s and 80s and all the way through the present moment. The first link I put up, let me see if I can get this on the screen here. Let's go to share screen. I want the Swan School.
Yeah. No, don't worry about it. You ain't got to share it. You ain't got to share. I don't trust the system.
I put it up there.
Okay.
Oh, I don't know if there's going to be any copyright drama.
They be hitting me in all kinds of ways.
Okay, don't worry about it then. I'll stop sharing it. It's all good. But you guys have the links in the chat. If you take a look at the first one at Swan School, this is the type of chick you're seeing making these complaints. Now, I want you to notice some common factors in a lot of these things, man. These women, we talk about women who are on this type of time on a regular basis. There is a expectation of a standard they set amongst themselves. And generally speaking, there's pretty much no dudes that are involved in that process. There's no alleged patriarchal recontextualization to express how they feel with regard to all of these things. There is a general standard. It's called modern. And you see this behavior play out the more educated a person ends up being. And as we enter into this burnout phase of the hyper independent movement, we're seeing a lot of these crash outs happen that you begin to see in that second video there. And then they reveal to you who it is they're truly looking for fundamentally when it comes down to what they would settle for. And this is stuff we've seen going all the way back to when we got the right to vote back in just after the Civil War. And people at the end of the day, and it's to your point, Roger, weren't comfortable seeing black men in these patriarchal positions to be able to make decisions. I can tell you my own experience with my ex. She was uncomfortable with the fact that I was stable. I have a job with benefits from the government. I've got all the things I had when I was in the military as well that she would have been entitled to if we got married. And the whole time she had made the statement that she didn't feel comfortable, that she didn't have her ability to take care of herself. She felt bad that she didn't have to pay for anything. And I was confused in all of that, but I learned later that that is an experience a lot of men are experiencing now. And it's to the point where it's kind of, it's this mixed signals thing. Like you can't win for losing. Like even if you do provide that, there's always these bars that are contextualized for you to leap over in order for you to not only be accepted, but for all of it to even work in the first place. So I'm tying this all back to this thing, man. I think fundamentally this has created so many deep levels of insecurity that I don't even think they're aware of it. I don't think there's anything in psychology to address this. And it's so woven into the culture that it almost comes off as just being a schizophrenic part of the package.
I think that it is the culture. That's,
like, where's the line, right?
Well, I mean, when people see problems, you automatically throw up a guard like that's not what the culture is, because people don't want they don't want to be known for something.
Right.
But the way America is, being anti-black man is American culture. I don't know what's more American culture than being anti-black man. And based on what you described, you're just dealing with a woman. Well, you dealt with a woman who was anti-black man. It wasn't your position, because they'll lie to us all the time and say, well, if you're doing better, we'll look at you in a different way. We'll look at you and we'll give you more respect. We'll be prouder of you. We'll show you off more. They tell us all this stuff, but then black men who do it, they still get talked to like a dude who's struggling. So at the end of the day, I've been noticed that a black man's position in life when it comes to a black woman doesn't mean anything. They don't have standards in the first place. And what you can do doesn't mean nothing because they look at it as you owe. So when you give somebody something that's owed to them, you get a total different reaction than somebody giving you something and you appreciating them giving you something that you did not deserve. See,
if you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
Niggas be so quick to let me take you on a trip. Let me take you on a trip. Pay a fucking bill. Pay a bill. Pay a goddamn bill.
Always begging. Damn.
Can we get on the phone? No, get on the phone with billing. Don't talk to me. Talk to billing.
But my thing is, like, I don't understand the obsession with trying to make black women settle so much. Y'all don't do this with any other community. Like, seriously, y'all don't do this with any other community. Do y'all tell white women that they should settle? Because last time I checked, anytime a white girl marries a black man, it's always when he's at his best and when he's rich as hell. You think Kim Kardashian was gonna marry Kanye while he was broke and didn't have any money? You think Kanye would have had a chance with Kim then? Or you think Kanye had a chance with Kim when he was a multi-million-dollar rapper? Let's be real. Like, y'all don't say this to any other group but us. We're tired of settling. We're tired.
And we're back. My apologies, y'all. Know I was in muted talking to myself. Reckless, y'all already know. Reckless tax and effect, y'all already know. Y'all, look, don't put it in the comments. Don't put it in the comments. Y'all know what it is. All my day ones know. Not gonna incriminate myself, no sir. Anyway, continuing. So, let's see. What did I want to play to associate that with what Nameless was saying? It was something else I wanted to play. It was something else. We played this already.
If you want to date outside of your race, you need to be disciplined. When they say we're going to the gym at 5:30 in the morning, you better be up at 5 o'clock getting ready. They are not going to deal with the lack of discipline. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. And what we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that. What we make black men put up with, they are not going to go for that.
You know, the Raj report spoke about being owed, right? And how black women speak to black men. And so, and if I, the way I interpreted what the Raj report was saying is, when white men so graciously acknowledge black women's presence, black women's beauty, black women's existence, black women's femininity, they treat it as something golden, right? When it's black men, of course, you're supposed to. You owe me, right?
I miss when men used to protect, provide, and shut up.
Of course. That's the way it's supposed to be. When I played the clip of the young lady saying, y'all don't tell white women to settle. Why did Mr. Z play that? Because in the back of their mind, it's always about white womanhood. It's always, it's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. White women don't have to do that. White women aren't told to settle. It's not fair, it's not fair, it's not fair. No? This young lady told you exactly what it is. If you got her out here not being able to perform like a white woman, she will belittle you.
Said if you are broke and I choose to deal with you, I will belittle you. It is what it is.
Her words. Mr. Z didn't put those words in her mouth. No, we didn't take her out of context. Her words. I will belittle you. It is what it is. No? You owe me earning more than me, significantly more than me. When I play this,
Niggas be so quick to let me take you on a trip. Let me take you on a trip. Pay a fucking bill. Pay a bill.
going back to what the Raj report said about owing black women. Pay a bill. Don't tell me about how good I look. Don't tell me about how you want to come see me. Don't take me out. Pay a bill. Listen to her tone of voice as if you owe her. Huh? Yeah. There's a lot of women who sound like that. A lot of black women who sound like that. You owe her.
The only time having a boyfriend is worth it is when he is able to fully support you and pay all your bills. I said it, and I'll say it again. The only time a man who is your boyfriend, he's not your husband, if you're gonna be a girlfriend to someone, he needs to be paying all your bills. Otherwise, why is he there? What is his purpose? If he's not, he's just a boyfriend. Meaning if he leaves you, and a boyfriend is not a legal title. If he leaves you and promises you marriage, leaves you with nothing, you get nothing. But if he's paying all your bills, you're able to save money, you're able to invest into businesses that you want to do. If he leaves you, you're leaving with something else at the end of it.
I guess we're throwing love out the window. The only time having a girlfriend is worth it is if she's giving you bedroom fun whenever you want, cooking, cleaning, and shutting up, and knows how to be a man's peace and not a burden.
Why is this conversation very, very important that I played the whole thing? To dispel what foreign man in a foreign land was saying. Women are the ones who approach men with the, I'm less of a woman because you got me paying bills. I'm less of a woman because I'm not a kept woman. You don't got me living like elite white women, so I'm less of a woman. As a matter of fact, I'm not a woman, and it's because of you. That's when black men do the, okay, all right, if that's the conversation you want to have, if we're there with if that's the conversation you want to have, all right, fine. My food better be on the table. I better be getting sloppy toppy 3-4 times a week. The box 3-4 times a week. No talk back. I get the last word. Huh? I better don't have to fold no sheets, wash no dishes. Uh-oh. Huh? We have to emphasize this. There's a lot of black folks who act like they don't know what's going on. They act like they don't know what's going on. We gonna show them. And Keith says, and thank you for the super chat. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat, and the thank you button. Thank you button. Sorry, thank you button for replay squad. Shout out to the replay squad. No, the hype button. I don't know why Mr. Z said thank you button. Keith says, in psychological terms, it is referred to as solipsism. Yeah, not having to consider anything outside of their own head. Does anything outside of their own head even exist? Are you real? Right? So there's a cost to that. Huh? There's a cost to that. Black women gonna have to feel it. Huh? And Keith, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. I'm playing all of this. Shout out to the Raj Report. Shout out to the Nameless Protagonist. Shout out to everyone that was part of the panel. Champ Carr, Kevin, right? To emphasize, who are black women ugly with? They're ugly with black men. They're primarily ugly with black men. That's why I continue to play the clip from Foreign Man in a Foreign Land. I don't get to be woman because you are not man. This is their assessment. And as the young lady said, what we put black men through, or what black men got to put up with, what we make black men put up with, these non-black men not going to put up with it. So don't even go to them with that. Now, when you imagine this, you're starting off knowing, you're letting us know black men deserve the attitude in your mind. They deserve the snarkiness, the rude, the sassy, all this stuff that weirdo lefty black folks, and quite frankly, some conservative churchy black folks, pretend like black men are making up. Black men are making this up. First of all, black men are making up that black women are particularly sassy, mean, rude, disrespectful, insulting to black men. And what black men are also making up is that not only are women shooting, not only are black women like this towards and to black men are not like this towards and to non-black men, particularly white men. And when you play the clip of the black women saying what we put black men through, what black men have to put up with from us, these non-black men they're not gonna deal with that. They're not gonna take that. It completely kills the conversation. Now what? Huh? All the black women who say white women aren't told to settle. Once again, that lets you know where the comparison is, where the bar is for them. White women aren't told to settle. Actually, yes, white women under the top 20% line are being told to settle. As a matter of fact, in many ways, you can argue the repeal of Roe versus Wade, they're being made to settle. Huh? With the ending of the deferral for the college loans and whatnot. No, we gonna make you have to eat every single bill. You gonna end up with a man. If not, I hope you earn enough to pay for your life indefinitely, And we know you don't. Huh? Yeah, Keith, solipsism. Not appreciating the world outside of your own head. Your assessment is the assessment. As Mr. Z says all the time, they truly believe they're morally superior to everyone else, including and especially black straight men. They sit on the moral high ground above everyone else, once again, including and especially straight black men. Yeah. And Keith, once again, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. And Eric Dedman says Kanye was about $30 million in debt before Kim. I thought it was 53 million. I thought it was closer to 50. Either way, millions. But it doesn't matter because it's about the narrative to them. It's about the idea that black women are being told to settle for loser ass, bum ass black men every day. And white women aren't told to settle. You heard what the young lady said? White women aren't told to settle. We're tired of y'all telling black women to settle. Now, that is an appeal to this society, that is appeal to the tastemakers, technocrats, social designers, etc., etc. So black women, just stay your ass single with your rose toy then. Go engage in same-sex loving relationships then. If the masses of black men are the settle bar for the masses of black women, fine then. Subsidize and pay for yourself indefinitely. Be the little sexual plaything for non-black men. Black men are not trying to hold you hostage. Huh?
Mario, Jorge, Cartwright, Shang Tsung. We got a thrift store of leftover bitches. They're leftover because apparently it ain't enough niggas is worth a damn. Whatever. Point is they left over. We need you to come pick them up. No instruction manual. Figure it out. Sprinkle some white ice on it. Maybe, I've heard the white ice is colder. Sprinkle some white ice on it. It goes with everything. If you come within the next 24 hours, we'll give you a complimentary book on how to date black women for white men. That's a $4 value.
Shout out to Edward Anderson. Exactly. Exactly. Huh? You heard what he said? That's a $4 value. Ladies, dear black women, we're not holding you hostage. You're just too cowardly to admit what it is. Or white, as the nameless protagonist said. We're not talking about smashing. We're talking about relationships. As Mr. Z says, an attractive black woman is an attractive woman. An attractive black woman is an attractive woman. We're not talking about XXX fun. Are these non-black men willing to subsidize you for a lifetime, pay for everything for a lifetime, marry you? Huh? Are these non-black men, particularly white men, willing to do that? Huh? Is it that black women are too loyal to black men? Or is it that black women appreciate that for the most part, non-black men ain't going? They're not going. Anything more than bedroom fun, they're not going. And so black women try to protect their little fragile ass ego by claiming some type of loyalty to black men. Is it that? Or is it that y'all really don't got nowhere else to go?
Black women do not be having the options that they say they got. And before you jump in my comments, no, I don't have a man. No, I don't have options. Okay, so I beat you to it. There you go. I already beat you to it. So if that's all you care about, you can go and scroll past this video. Anyway, black women do not be having the options that they say they got, because my whole thing is, if you say you have an option, that means you like that option. That means you are considering that option. So women be talking about, we got options. Oh, a man is the easiest thing to get. But the man y'all be talking about, you don't even want the man. Y'all don't even.
Don't you do it! Don't you! I got nowhere else to go! I got nowhere else to go!
Huh? Or is it that your ego can't take that? So you claim on top of loyalty that you don't actually have. It's not loyalty. A lack of choices is not loyalty. You just don't got nowhere else to go. Huh? So Eric Demon, they could claim all this. Black women are always told to settle. White women are not told to settle. White women aren't told to settle. They could claim that all they want, come up with all type of cockamamie BS stories to make them feel better. We know Kanye was in debt when he met Kim Kardashian. Well, when he got married to Kim Kardashian, we know that. The women don't care nothing about that. It's not about the facts. It's about the narrative. And Mr. Z is all about telling them to go munch on each other then. Go munch on each other. Go be the sexual plaything for some non-black men then. And thank you for the super chat, Eric. 23% of young black women now identify as bisexual. Yeah, go do that. Go engage in that. Why y'all trying to call black men on top of LGBTQ as an insult, as a pejorative? Huh? And Kunguru says, and thank you for the super chat, Venus claims to be a virgin. White men dissed her so much she asexual. I thought she was with a white dude right now. Right? Thought she was with a white guy right now. I really think the white dudes broke them psychologically. Watching their dad defend them, watching their dad defend them from the hordes of racist white old men. You imagine being 20-something, 30-something, 40-something, 50-some odd years old, maybe even 60-some odd years old. And you're talking about children, 12, 14, 16-year-old girls. So disparagingly. Imagine calling them all type of monkey. Imagine writing news articles about sports news, and implying that these girls are some type of boys or men. As an adult man. As a man. Oh, I forgot. Many black women think white men are the only men. It's funny, the rewriting of history, right? You let black women talk. And Serena was supposed to end up with a white dude because black men called her all type of monkey. Where are the black men writing whole news editorials calling these girls monkeys? Insulting them in front of their dad's face. Questioning their sexuality and their gender in front of them. Where are the black men doing that? Oh, I forgot. Y'all got to rewrite history. Yeah. Or you gotta go digging in the crates to find one weirdo Negro that said that. Or maybe didn't even say it, implied or suggested something. Huh? I think Venus and Serena, I think they're cooked. Psychologically, they're gone. It's done. They belong to the white dudes. They're broken psychologically. Black men can't do nothing with them. You can't do nothing with Serena or Venus. For Jamie Foxx to go up there twice and serenade, you ain't never seen no white man do. Where are the white men doing that? On a public stage, twice at an award ceremony? Made it funny, made it entertaining, and spent 5 or so minutes serenading an athlete. Not just showing up with her on the red carpet, not just the googly eyes. How often have we had black men do this? whether it's Diddy with J-Lo, whether it's 50 with Vivica, we constantly got black men bigging up women very publicly, very overtly, making a whole spectacle of it. No one comes close. Ain't no competition. There's no competition. I mentioned Angela Bassett's husband the other day. Where do we have? Who else is doing that? Not just, I would like to, thank you for this award. I would like to thank my wife, and she's been my backbone. No. Make a whole spectacle about shouting out your wife, your girlfriend, your baby mom, just a woman you're interested in? Huh? Yo Gotti and Ashley Simmons. Vanessa, I'm sorry, I said Ashley. Vanessa. No, it's not Vanessa, it's Ashley, right? Whichever, the Simmons sisters. You already know, whichever one it was. Right? Like, mentioning women in songs, all of that. Black men, and it's almost exclusively black women we talking about. Huh? So, meanwhile, white dudes are insulting black women, and then black women want to be with them. White dudes are insulting black women when they're little girls, when they're minors. Then they turn around and become adults, and every time you see them, they with a white dude. They ain't never with a black dude. Shout out to you, Venus. Huh? She's cooked psychologically, bro. She gone. It's over. It's over. And once again, Congruent, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Oh, it's Angela Simmons. I don't know why I want to say Ashley. Thank you, Angela Simmons. No? So it's about the appeal to white men. It's always been about the appeal to white men. And Detroit says, and thank you for the super chat. Meanwhile, I got my cousin right now with a PDF, Hector. Oh, touching her daughter on the private parts. Wow. And thank you for the super chat. Hey, Detroit, look, I said it before. I don't want to incriminate myself, but hey, bro, we let's just say Mr. Z co-worker situation. Similar to what you're saying. I'm done. I ain't gonna say no that much more. But yeah. And same background as what you're saying. A Hector. Huh? Same situation what you saying. Hey, bro, I said it before. When you start dealing with these non-black men, whatever they're about concerning their women, whatever the negative stereotype or the stereotype is about them, you're gonna have to eat that. You're gonna have to live that. And that is one of the stereotypes concerning them boys. Them and the whites. Huh? That is not something you necessarily hear about concerning black men. You hear about that type of behavior with those Hectors and the Brads. Alrighty then. Huh? The Hectors and the Brads. Huh? Everybody playing around with this thing. Shout out to black women. You know what the stereotype is about these different groups of men. When you run into it, or it runs into you, shout out to Chad Wheeler's ex, when you run into it or when it runs into you, black men, the black manosphere tried to tell you what it was. Huh? You hear the stories of what the white dudes do. They're deleting y'all first, second date. Some of y'all, you know, it's not just deleting, it's deleting you and huh? They got y'all on the same thing Mohammed bin Salman had Khashoggi in. Is that guaranteed to happen? Maybe not. But appreciate this is some of what happens. Finding you in some type of wooded area in a lake. Yeah, last time we saw her, she was in an argument with her boyfriend. Boyfriend's white. Last time we saw her, she was in an argument with her husband. Husband white. Huh? House camera catch your husband emptying the clip on your ass. Going back, gun jam, getting the gun unjam and then empty it again. Come on, man. Well, I said that wrong. Shooting until the gun jammed, then fixing the gun, then shooting it until it empty. Come, bro. Then claiming all type of temporary insanity. This is the exact same thing he would have did if it was a white wife. Because the negative. What's the negative stereotype for black men? We leave for 2 decades and don't come back. We go get milk and we don't come back. We're not. That's the negative stereotype. Huh? Deadbeat fathers. How about we not going to delete you and the kids? Huh? How about we not going to touch the kids inappropriately? How about that? Huh? How about we're not going to encourage you to delete one of your kids, or we delete one of your kids and then leave that deceased body in an apartment with the other 2 boys for a year? Huh? For those of us that remember that story. Huh? You know what we're not going to do? We're not going to encourage you to take something where you OD, and then when the cops come, I don't know what happened. You imagine a white cop saying to a black woman's family, "Oh yeah, we spoke to Z. Z seems like fine people. He's a good man. Yeah, I don't know what happened with your daughter though. Yeah, you know, whatever." Huh? Same thing with the LGBTQ brothers. Y'all heard about the dude, Democratic donor, Democrat donor, right? What happened? One LGBTQ brother passed in his presence. The other one, what, a year and a half later, another one OD and passed in his presence. Just saying. So yeah, Detroit, yeah, this is what come with it. Y'all want to be validated by these dudes? They know. If you see them get away with deleting their own women, their own girls, what you think that mean about you? The white cop, was it in Florida? The white cop, I think he, 2 or 3 white wives then disappeared with this dude. I think they finally caught up with him on wife number 3 or 4. He at least got away with 2. And that took years before they finally got him caught up on something. Somebody know the story I'm talking about. Huh? If white dudes are getting away with that with white women, what you think they're gonna get away with you? Huh? In Detroit, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Y'all playing around with these people. So yeah, I agree with some of the people in the comments. That's way of handling things. You know what I'm saying? I'll just leave it there, Right? There's ways of handling things. Oh, I did Detroit. Huh? So yeah. Oh, I didn't see that. And Ishmael said, there we go. Z heard that the pink pill came at Shay. Oh, did she? Huh? I'll check it out. Right? But y'all, Z got things to do. What my likes look like? Let's see. Y'all give Z a second. I guess a couple. When it was 90, I guess we got a high to 90 something. I think, but we got 71 likes. And 67 of y'all in here right now. We got 71 likes. All right, I guess I'll go with it. Right. But I just want to respond back to Raj. I'll link this. I'll send this to Nameless Protagonist and to the Raj Report. Shout out to them brothers. Shout out to all the brothers, like I said earlier, that were on the panel. Shout out to all of you that were in the Raj Report's chat. Shout out to y'all, right? Ugly black women, yes, but who are they being ugly with primarily? Right? Who are they being ugly with? Huh? They're letting you know. That lady's told you straight up, if you got them working, then you don't like them. If you as a black man have a black woman working, you don't like her. Crazy talk. But she meant that. Huh? So on that note, y'all, we'll pause right here. Love, piece of chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Thank y'all for listening in. And Mr. Z out.